Well, we continue here with our Insight event, so once again presented by Neishloss and Fleming and Integrity Marketing Group, as now we're going to be speaking about what Aetna is doing in Western Pennsylvania, as well as, parts of other areas, but mostly here in Western Pennsylvania in our backyard here. We're located in the Pittsburgh area, so our backyard. I'm your host, as always, Mike Asti, and for this edition of our Insight event here in I say this every one of these, but it's true, a very important AEP and a historic AEP because of the world we're living in. I'm going to be speaking with Denise King and Bob O'Connor. Denise is the sales director for Western PA and West Virginia, and Bob O'Connor is the chief Medicare officer for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Delaware. So guys, first off, thanks for joining me. I know I'm excited here. This is a big deal, and unfortunately, we're not able to meet in person and have some drinks and appetizers and some great food that these events usually produce, but I'm happy we're able to do this nonetheless for the agents this year.
We're happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
We're excited to be here too. It's always fun to do these in person, but we're trying something new this year, right?
Yeah, we're trying something new. We're learning something new, and we're kind of adapting with the new, ever-changing world. Now, Denise, I believe you guys have a slide deck that you're going to share, so feel free to go ahead and do that.
All right.
That was a slide deck that Denise will be controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's normally this is an event that we don't have to go very far because Denise and I both live here in Allegheny County. I live in the North Hills, and Denise on the north side, and so it's always fun to come and see a bunch of old friends and meet some new friends too. So today, obviously, things are going to be more than a little bit different. So today, our slogan that we're using this year is "Work Differently, and we will be virtually unstoppable." So it's a little bit of a play on words, right? Because we're all working differently, but we think that doing these things virtually, it changes all of our businesses, and it changes how we go about doing business. And so, regardless of whether we're here virtually or in person, we're excited to be here at the Neishloss and Fleming Insight event.
Yeah.
And first off, and we'll say probably a couple times, is thank you for all the support that we get, not only from you as the agents. You're the ones who made us #1 in the Pennsylvania market, but also a big thank you to Neishloss and Fleming. Great partnership, well over a decade of working together to support agents in Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia and throughout the country. But it's always special doing it here, I think, in Western Pennsylvania, just personally.
Yeah, I think so. We definitely appreciate it for sure. Sometimes when it's safe for everybody, or if whenever you're comfortable, you have to come down and see our new office, because we actually recently moved into a new office here in Western.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I hadn't seen the new office yet, but looking forward to it. So, hey, we're starting off today with some breaking news, a couple updates. Yeah, exciting stuff, right? Breaking news.
Yeah.
So we had another great year in Western Pennsylvania. Thanks to everybody on this meeting. Another amazing, made us one of the largest growing Medicare Advantage companies in Pennsylvania, and our largest increase in history for our dual eligible special needs plan. We'll be talking about our DSNP a little bit later. It continues to be market leading going into 2021, just as it has been in 2020. We made some big improvements in 2020, and we're continuing the momentum in 2021. And I don't want to steal Denise's thunder, but we continue to have a network that includes all the local hospitals, most local doctors, and so go back. Come on, go back.
Okay.
Because I didn't get to everything. I got so excited about the DSNP, I know you are too, that I didn't get the chance to say that we also made some really big improvements in our core portfolio. We have a lot of cool new products that we come out with every single year, but we have this core portfolio in Western Pennsylvania of our gold and silver HMOs, and you're going to see that they improved year over year. Again, as we have the last 2 years, we dropped premium and increase the supplemental benefits and decrease the copays. And then our non-Allegheny Silver HMO, it's the 18th year in a row that it's zero premium. what were you doing 18 years ago? I mean, like 18 years ago, Denise and I were in middle school. But the silver HMO was still like zero, and it's zero today.
Right.
So many changes, but not the silver HMO, still zero, and the benefits are actually better. And some of these other gold plans, it's crazy. I mean, these are plans that were like $129. They were, with higher copays, and we've, dropped the copays, dropped the premium. A lot of times the LIS or the PACE premium payment will even cover most of the premium. I mean, it's just an incredible amount of value. And that's with the full network. It's not making a choice between, which system do I like? It's got the full network.
Sure.
So we can go on now, Denise. All right. So thanks to your loyal efforts, you've made us the #1 Medicare Advantage carrier in Pennsylvania and in the market as a whole. So that includes, for us, the market includes Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Delaware. Right. You made us #1, and it's by a long shot. We've been #1 for a couple years in a row, and we really appreciate everybody's support. Our growth over a 2-year period has been in excess of 60,000 lives, and the market is growing as a whole, but not as quickly as we're growing, and it's because of our partnership with the agents in Pennsylvania and with the distributors in Pennsylvania, especially Neischloss.
Yeah,
and we want to simply say thank you.
Yeah, and I think I mentioning too on the growth and the success of the Aetna brand. You also notice from that last slide the CVS relationship, and CVS being there out in the forefront, and that relationship, and we knew about that relationship on the Aetna subside and what you got out of that contract this past year. But just overall branding now, having the brand name that is Aetna and then the brand name that is CVS. And I talked about this with your cohorts on the East PA side, that is just phenomenal to me. And it's crazy to think how many CVSs are out there in the country, no matter where you are. The stat that there is 70% of the country lives within 3 miles of a CVS, something like that. That's just staggering. And when you drive around, and we're all in Allegheny County, when you drive around, I'm seeing CVS. It's not a lie. I'm seeing CVSs everywhere. You can stop by a red light and there's a CVS. So that brand name, in addition with the brand name of Aetna, really marries the two and helps things. And that's a part of your growth. And I know that brand name's there now in the forefront, but even going to be more in the forefront as we go every year going by, as that continues.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. The branding is extremely important, but also equally important is what we're doing for healthcare. What you're going to start to see in some of the larger CVSs is we're much more than just a pharmacy and a retailer and the minute clinics. We're adding what we call the health hubs, and you can read about those online or in the newspaper. And it's really changing the whole way that people access healthcare. Really breaking down those barriers and bringing it to a consumer. We're giving a consumer a full experience, everything that they would need for their simple preventative services, simple things right there in one location. So healthcare is changing, and we're right there on the forefront. So before we talk about the products, we want to talk about some more breaking news to do a little bit of foreshadowing of the product.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. So first off, one of the things you're going to see this year, and you're going to see this in our national advertising, is that we made some huge improvements to our MA only product. And we rebadged it the Eagle plan. And so this is really geared towards veterans, people who access some care through the VA, but also here in Western Pennsylvania, there's cohorts of people, whether they're attached to Aviva or some other labor or previous employer support, where they get their drugs from somewhere else. They get their medications covered by someone else, and they just need a really good MA only. And so, take this back to your clients, take this to groups of people that you might know, because what you're going to find is, a lower maximum out of pocket, wonderful dental plans, extra supplementals, incredibly low copays, and it even has a Part B give back. And so extremely valuable for your veterans for sure, for your, people getting drugs elsewhere, and maybe even just people who don't want to pay that Part D penalty, but still want medical coverage in the meantime. There are still those people out there, and we're here for them. We made some big improvements to the DSNP plan. We think you're going to really like what we did there. I mentioned the core improvements to our products with the HMO portfolio, but people sometimes forget that we have these amazing prime plans. These are plans that are built around strong local dominant healthcare systems in places like Butler and Washington and Westmoreland County, partnering with a local hospital and that health system that wraps around it. Well, we need some big improvements in those products too. So you're going to see the dental improve, you're going to see the medical copays improve, and you're going to see a lot of extra goodies in there too. So we're pretty excited about that. Mm-hmm. And continued broad network. I haven't seen any changes in our network at all. Our network on the Advanture products, as everyone recalls, is a network that goes from Cleveland Clinic all the way to Philadelphia. So it includes Hershey Medical and Penn and Cleveland Clinic.
Okay.
And if that's not good enough, we also have products that actually have a full national network too. So whether you want a really robust local network that is 25 years in the making, or whether you want a national network, we have that too. And you're going to see that in every single one of our plans. Great network.
Okay.
So, what we're telling people is if you liked us in 2020, you're going to love us in 2021. You're going to see things like $2,000 and even $3,000 dental allowances. And I know that people, more and more have expectations that we're not just covering their cavities and their cleanings and their x-rays. I mean, we're covering root canals and dentures and periodontics and endodontics. And, these are full coverages now. We also streamline our dental program to make it easier for agents to sell, a little less confusing. So the codes covered went up, the costs went down, and the coverage expanded. And we also we know that there's people that like a networked benefit. Our network is the Aetna Dental Network, which is a great network. But hey, there's dentists that don't participate in any networks. And so we do offer on some of our plans some reimbursements. Those reimbursement amounts increase too. We went to a quarterly OTC, and that will make it available for people to buy more expensive items. We also are expanding the catalog, and so you're going to see a catalog that's roughly twice the size as it was previous years. And we're also, in some cases, adding a section of CVS. This goes to what you were saying before, Mike, about what we can do with CVS and healthcare. Is there's actually going to be a section of CVS where you can go in and access most of those OTC items like right off the shelf. So really cool. So you can go into a CVS, get your prescriptions filled, go to a minute clinic, maybe you need a flu shot or maybe some other immunizations. Right. And you can get your OTC items on the shelf, and you can even pay your Aetna bill at the cash register now. So it's a full,
that's
over
fantastic.
9,000 front locations now across the country.
And that's fantastic because also, and obviously those who don't feel comfortable going into stores these days, you can certainly still use over the phone and still call to get those benefits. But it definitely makes it more accessible, I think, to make sure people, and I'm sure this is part of it, make sure people utilize those benefits. When you have those benefits there, make sure that OTC is utilized and you just don't lose it and then, you miss out. By having it right there in front of your face and have a major retailer that's going to be right out there for you.
Totally right, Mike. And as I mentioned before, premium reductions across the board on almost all of our premium products. People in Western Pennsylvania like to buy up their insurance. And for those people, we just have amazing products next year, last year, and into the future.
Right.
So now we're going to look a little bit deeper into the breaking news, and I'm going to pass the baton to Denise King to talk about our DSNP.
Yes, thank you so much, Bob. We are so excited about our dual eligible special needs plan. We've made enhancements to it. We thought it was really good before, but we've really enhanced it even more. Some of the big changes that you're going to see, we did an expansion into 11 additional counties. We added Blair, Cambria, Clearfield, Elk, Franklin, Indiana, Jefferson, Juniata, Lackawanna, Monroe, and Somerset counties. So we'll now be in a large portion, and we'll show you a map in just a few moments. We're really excited about adding the Healthy Foods debit card. It's going to be a $25 allowance monthly for individuals with chronic conditions. And what's really important about our plan is it isn't just isolated to one chronic condition. About 90 to 95% of the individuals on our DSNP plans will qualify for this Healthy Foods plan because it is a wide range of conditions that qualify for this healthy food benefit. So it'll be simple and easy to use and enhance the health of our dual eligible special needs members.
Okay.
We're also the first in Western Pennsylvania to add the PAPA program. which we're hearing so much about social isolation and seniors being on their own and not being able to connect.
Right.
And so this is a benefit for members with chronic conditions. It will be a college student, or it might be someone else who isn't a college student, but it's like 10 hours a month that they can go in, they can break it up into, you know, a couple times a month. They can, you know, again, somebody that can just go in, maybe help them with reading, help them with technical needs. I mean, we know a lot of our seniors aren't able to manage and how to handle a computer, how to use a tablet. So again, it's helping the seniors connect, not only in person with these individuals, and again, being very COVID responsible at the same time, but also helping them to connect through the technology that's available today.
Yeah,
maybe
and
maybe
that's
they can
awesome.
help them set their clock in the microwave. I still haven't figured that out myself.
Yeah, or the stove clock. Sometimes those are confusing and put in weird spots. Yeah, I have those issues as well. But I think in all seriousness, that's awesome. I actually hadn't heard that from other plans yet, in the fact that I think what it's not touched on enough, I guess. I don't think people are touching on it enough, and you certainly did, that because of this COVID climate, obviously there are going to be people that for medical reasons or just off of their comfort and mental health, they're going to need mostly to be quarantining themselves. And if their spouse had passed away and their grandkids have moved away, that really is isolation. And I don't care who you are, that certainly can be hard to deal with mentally. So be able to have that interaction is just a positive, no matter what they're discussing. And then if they can help them get that microwave clock or stove clock going or anything else in this world, because we are forced now to advance technology-wise because of the world we're living in, that would be wonderful as well. So that's, I think, a major benefit that not really everyone else has touched on, but that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about that because it is about the benefits in this plan, but it also goes beyond that. And we just have such a great model of care, and you combine that where they're working with their care manager, the social needs of Papa, and then the healthy foods card. Again, just really, you know, going above and beyond the increase in the dental network allowance, $4,500, and that includes virtually everything, including implants at 100% coverage. Just cosmetic procedures aren't covered. We also, Bob had also already mentioned the OTC. And again, the strongest network, you won't find a hospital that's not in our network in this plan. And, you know, many of the physicians are part of the Medicare Medicaid network as well. Very, very strong network, so people don't have to make changes in their physicians. Transportation continues to be important with their trips to the doctor. And then our meals program, the Silver Sneakers program, again, nice added benefits in it, but again, making that connection to these members who need special care. And this is the expansion area, so you can see in the kind of the pink color where we've expanded, you know, in these different areas. So a nice expansion.
That's a lot of expansion.
Yeah, some areas that really need the help. You know, people in Altoona and Johnstown that, you know, don't have as many choices, and bringing some great programs for them.
So let's look at what else is new. Bob had mentioned the EAGLE program, and again, we're so excited about this program because before it was, you know, a core program and it was great, but what's nice about it is it has a $40 Part B give back. So especially our veterans, and we have many veterans in Pennsylvania, that they will be able to use this plan in addition to their veterans plan. It kind of runs, you know, parallel tracks. They don't combine necessarily. But what's going to be great is they get $40 back, and the transportation benefit that's included in this plan will even include their transportation to the VA hospitals. And that's what some of the veterans need help with, is getting to those facilities. And even though it may not be the Aetna side of it, they still have transportation to their veterans checkups, their appointments, et cetera. And again, the same strong network. You won't find a hospital, and 95% of the doctors are all participating in this plan. We added a $3,000 dental program on this EAGLE plan. $3,000. $300 for eyewear, hearing aid benefit, $1,250 per ear per year, and over-the-counter quarterly of $90. The telehealth, you know, for PCP and urgent care visits, again, if they can use the VA when they want to use the VA, they can use Aetna when they want to use Aetna. And that's the beauty of the plan, that they're able to use both. So they have the extra money that they're getting back in Part B give back, that and extra enhanced dental benefit, and all the extra value addeds that are in there. And you will see a whole national marketing campaign based on this Eagle program. We think it's going to get that much attention.
Okay, wow. And the travel is a major thing too, because people sometimes don't think of that when you get sick and you need to utilize those services, there's cost outside of just the actual medical care. And that does include travel in some of those areas, maybe having to travel a little bit further than others. So that's a help.
For sure. And then this was just, you know, we covered most of the benefits, but we enhanced. You can see the change from 20 to 21 was enhancements, enhancements, enhancements. Our veterans are worthy of that kind of enhancement. So let's look at what else is improved. We can't cover all the plans that are available, and that's why we encourage the agents to also attend the local market training. But in Allegheny County, Bob mentioned, you know, the 18th row for this plan. We increased that zero premium plan that includes prescription drugs. The dental allowance went from $410 to $750. I mean, that's a lot of nice dental services that you can get for that amount. The OTC is at $75. And again, you'll see we lowered some of the co-pays on some of the, like in the prescription drug area. So we made some nice changes there as well. In addition, in Allegheny County, what's been a very popular plan for us has been what's formerly known as the Gold PPO plan. That's now called Premier Plus PPO. The premium went from $48 to $29. When you look at the value of this plan at $29, it was great at $48. It was one of our faster growing plans. But the maximum out of pocket on this is at $4,900. The dental allowance increased $1,000 to $3,000. Eyewear increased. The OTC allowance. And speaking of the OTC allowance, I think Bob mentioned that we have increased items available in the catalog, but some of the items are more expensive. So by moving to this quarterly benefit, maybe they want to buy something like a shower chair or blood pressure monitor that's more expensive, and they wouldn't have been able to purchase that in a monthly allowance. So now they're able to do that on a quarterly basis.
$300 for eyewear too.
Yes, we did. Then the silver PPO, because we rate Allegheny County separately from Western PA. This plan went from $28 down to $19, and this has been our fastest growing plan in Western Pennsylvania outside of Allegheny County because of the value of this plan. The premium decreased, the dental allowance increased from $350 to $750. The eyewear allowance increased. The OTC is at $120. The out-of-network deductible went from $1,000 to $100. The PCP cost share went to a $0 PCP. Specialist down to $35. Lab services, $0 copay. And diagnostic radiology decreased, and when the services can be done in the physician offices, to that same $0 copay. So when you look at for $19, you know, what a Medicare eligible is able to get. And this also speaks well to retention for our agents who've already sold these plans to our members, that they're going to be able to focus on new sales because of the great benefits and the enhancements with their current clients with us. And then for those agents who sell in that northwestern Pennsylvania area, in Cameron, Crawford, Erie, Forest, McKean, Mercer, Venango, and Warren counties, this plan continues to be the most popular plan. We increased the dental allowance on this zero premium plan from $415 to $750. OTC is $150 a quarter. That's a lot of, I mean, when you figure you save that much money and it's a zero premium plan, that's like putting more money back into your household for items that you would normally spend on a regular basis. Transportation is still in there. So again, great value, $5 PCP, $35 specialist, you know, just great benefits in this plan that's been very, very popular for us. I'm just talking about and mentioning one prime plan today. We have 5 prime plans, but this is just to give you a flavor of what enhancements we put together with these prime plans. Now, these plans are based on the local great quality hospital systems combined with it's a little different network that's available. And so this one, we have added a $3,000 dental allowance to these plans. They're all zero premium. In this case, it's Butler Health System. When you think of Butler County, I mean, the main hospitals in Butler County are going to be Butler, and then you transition down into Cranberry, and then it's down into Allegheny County, where you have the UPMC hospitals that are also part of this network.
Right.
The telehealth we've mentioned, eyewear, again, great benefits. When you take a quick look at the benefits, again, I just get so excited talking about, what these benefits are and how we've enhanced them. And we think that, again, more people will be interested in taking a look at these plans.
Yeah,
so
these
that's
plans,
kind of a wrap up.
Oh,
Go ahead, Bob.
Denise, I wanted to add that, the way that if you have seen these plans over the years, they've actually improved year over year over year. And it's because of the partnership that we have with these local health systems and the fact that they are so effective and so efficient at what they do. And so by partnering with them and harnessing that, we're able to deliver a consistent, better product for the consumers.
Yeah, and obviously the network's a big deal when you're looking at plans. Obviously the premium is a big deal when you're looking at plans. So be able to have $0 premium plans, be able to have that network expanding and have so much accessibility network-wise. And then what jumps out at me all the time, and maybe people sometimes miss, but it's really, really important, I feel, is seeing the hospital care when you're talking about per stay instead of per day. That's a difference for sure. Certainly a difference of what could be financial for the person in the hospital, depending on how you don't know when you go to the hospital and you're in there, you have no idea how long you're going to be there. You have no idea what the situation is going to be. So it takes away some stress from the family having to position days and worry about, oh, they're going to keep us to noon the next day. So that's another $300 per stay is a nice benefit to have.
You're totally right, Mike. And there's one other thing, and it's towards the bottom of the page that I want to bring people's attention to, is the drug copays. So people are it's not that unusual that you'll see a zero copay on a tier 1, but we're $0 on tier 2. And then what's really interesting is check out that preferred brand copay. Most of the companies around here, including a lot of our plans, it's going to be $45 or $47. In this case, the preferred brand is only $37. I think it's been many years since preferred a brand copay that starts with the number 3. And so, again, it just speaks to the efficiency of these products.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll find you want to take a look at that with the other plans, because you'll see some of those lower copays for the prescription drugs as well. And one of the things, again, we couldn't talk about all of our plans, and our agents know that we have a full product portfolio of options from zero premium up to these now very low overall premiums. But it's a full range of products that are available for individuals looking for a plan that suits their particular needs. And so that's what we've been most proud of, is the fact that there are many options that are available to them. You want a broad network, you have a broad network. You want a little more narrow network, you have it. But it's really easy, because some of the other plans I've seen lately you have to watch that this plan has these hospitals and this plan has these hospitals.
Right.
For us, it's either the prime or it's the full network. So again, it's a nice, easy, simple way to provide access to all the hospitals and most of the physicians in the area. And of course, as we were talking about in this environment, we want to make sure that we provide the tools and resources to support our agents. So we know that the Medicare Center is the way that NYCHLOS does a lot of their electronic enrollments, and we fully support those electronic enrollments through that. It makes it easier for the agent, it makes it easier for the client, the applications are issued faster. We also have the Ascend tool that's available, but again, fully support, the NYCHLOS Medicare Center in making those enrollments easier. So that, if the client wants to meet the agent in person, if the client wants to do things remotely, again, we're providing the tools and resources for our agents to be able to do that. So we encourage them, to take a look at Producer World. There's the Medicare Marketing Studio to find out what materials are available. There may be some co-op that's available. The Producer Guide, how to order enrollment kits. we want to make sure that we have all the resources that the agents need and we provide it to them in many ways. And
Yeah,
so
and
if there's something,
especially
I'm sorry.
now. I mean, this is such an important AP, but obviously there's going to be some challenges with it. Maybe some clients not interested or not feeling comfortable with you coming to their literal kitchen table and having to do video chats like this, or even just over the phone. But then having something like, of course, your Ascend tool, you guys have there in Producer World, and then you mentioned it, Medicare Center for sure is what we offer. It makes it easier because if it's about safety, there's absolutely ways to still get the sale. Granted, it's virtually, but there's ways to get the sale, and we couldn't certainly help you through any of those. I'm sure you guys would help, through. It's not, certainly there's ways to get around those. And if you do have somebody that is willing to still meet you, there's certainly ways to do that safely as well. So this is an important AP. There's ways to get around everything. We understand the challenges, but they're still able to certainly get these sales because fortunately the carriers and FMOs and really everybody, we all picked up our level of work as well with COVID. So it was so many different advancements. And I know your marketing tools there can help people with social media, which is a great way to market as well. And as we move forward then, and I do see on your slides, you're going to let us know about all your broker managers. And we certainly have talked to several of those, including Frank McNeil in the past, who's definitely great here in the area, and all of them are. But I do want to ask you guys, that you have so many plans at your disposal. You're obviously offering a lot. There's a lot in terms of benefits and just really everything with a major carrier and the brand name. But out of any of those plans, does one maybe jump out at you as one you think is going to experience a lot of growth this new year, this AAP, and then moving forward?
I think there's a lot of really strong ones, Mike.
Maybe a couple.
I mean, we consistently, improved all of them.
Right.
The change to that PPO is particularly a sharp improvement, though. And so, we have sold a lot of the silver and gold HMOs the last couple of years. We made some big improvements back in 2019, and we, kept that momentum going through 2020. But that PPO is really a sharply improved one. And so you can keep your clients where they are right now, and they're going to see a better deal when they get their ANOCs in the next couple of weeks. They're going to see an improved product across the board. But for new clients, they probably want to look at that PPO. Definitely want to make sure people are taking a look at our DSNP. And then it's not as strong of a product in terms of pure value, but we do have an Aetna PPO that's zero premium and has a national network. I've got my own relatives on that plan because they love the fact that they can go to hospitals all over the country.
Right.
And so that's not a borrowed network where it's like, oh, I'm going to use some other company's network and let the claims go through the system. It's all part of the Aetna system. It's all the same, whether you're in California or Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or Florida or wherever. And so if you have a client that wants the full network, no questions asked, that's the way to go. You get a little less bells and whistles, a little less benefits, but still a very, you could take that plan and put it up, I think, against the competition and still a better deal, better co-pays and better benefits. But if people want maximum optimized value, look at our HMOs this year and check out that PPO in particular.
Yeah, right. And then just kind of as we round things out, obviously this is a challenging environment. Granted, it's a very important AP that we keep saying. And despite everything you guys are offering, because you're offering a lot of plans, you're offering a lot of benefits in those plans and different ways to tweak things, whether it be somebody that wants that national network, wants a local network, wants just all the benefits, you kind of do have it all. But any challenges that maybe you expect and any advice you can give agents in terms of something that's you maybe could be brought up, because there's going to be people there that are going to maybe look for some negatives. Obviously nothing's perfect out there. So just any advice to agents on any challenges that they may need to overcome and how to get through those if maybe a client does ask this question and maybe you're not as strong there and advice to give.
Well, there's not a lot of negativity in the benefits. I mean, the benefits are stronger than last year and even stronger than, 2019, which was a huge year for us. I mean, it was absolutely epic. And we continued that in 2020 and the product. So it's like the third year in a row that the product has improved. So the product's great. I think there is, definitely a lot of things that people can be distracted with, whether it be the pandemic or the economy, or the presidential election.
It's a lot going on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that, our suggestion to agents is they really try to, focus on the benefits and the fact that, particularly if somebody is on an older plan, a plan that hasn't been improved over the years like ours has, that they have to remember that if they don't make a decision, they're going to be stuck with subpar benefits for another year, and it can cost them a lot of extra money, whether it be premium paid or dental that they're going to have to pay out of pocket. And so I think the most important thing is just to keep the we don't like to sell benefits, we like to sell value, but maybe with all the distractions, this might be a good year to really focus that prospect on the value and of the better benefits and what money they're actually going to save year over year. That's my own opinion. Denise is a better salesperson than I am, though, so she might have some even better ideas.
Okay, sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, let me just add that if an agent does nothing and thinks that their clients aren't going to make a move, they could end up losing those clients, because there's going to be outreach that will occur. And I've heard some agents say, oh, I think it'll be pretty quiet this year. I think they're going to be surprised by a lot more activity.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quiet at all, no.
People are going to be shopping.
And I think that it's going to be important that if you mentioned if they're struggling with something, that's why we have the broker managers, easily accessible, Bob, myself, Don Mazza. I mean, we are all accessible. And I just had calls this weekend, from an agent who, needed something. It was on a Saturday. We're there. We take those calls. Right. We're going into AEP, and I think you're going to find that we care that the agents need help and when they need help, and we want to provide it when they need the help. So.
Yeah, and I think that's important to know, and that's even more important to watch our insight event here and to be a part of, soak as much knowledge as you can, because I do think this is going to be an active AEP, because number one, you're going to have people that they're going to have the mentality, and this is an advice to agents. Number one, they want to make sure they're covered the best they could be. They might be looking into that and kind of double checking your work maybe more than before to make sure they are truly covered because of what's going on in the world, and maybe humbled by the health pandemic. And also those who maybe dragged their feet for a while and just threw themselves on whatever, or didn't care, or weren't taking your calls. You may be surprised, and they may call you and say, hey, I was dragging my feet, but now we have a global pandemic. I got to make sure I'm covered here. I'm going to travel here. I'm going to do this. So that may all be a benefit to some agents in a way, and that may potentially have agents increase business that wasn't there in the past. But I definitely think things are going to be going on. And even if people aren't reaching out to you in that respect, I mean, it's important to make sure, and as Bob and Denise were saying, that this is all really about serving the client the best for them. So if you're trying to fit, depends on them. You're trying to fit the plan to best serve them, and that's how you distinguish between the HMO, the PPO, and all these different plans. So, guys, I absolutely appreciate the time for sure. I know you guys are busy, and we have a lot going on here with AEP fast approaching, and what it's going to mean this year. And Bob, you mentioned it is out of all years for COVID-19 to be occurring, this is something. So this is it's a very hectic time, but definitely an important one, and a lot of action going to be going on. So again, Denise King, the sales director with Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia, and Bob O'Connor, the chief Medicare officer for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Delaware here. I'm your host, Mike Asti, and for all of us here at Nice, Lawson, Fleming, and Integrity Marketing Group, again, we thank you for watching. This is an important AEP, so make sure you soak all this in, and you get your clients served the best way possible. So guys, thanks again.